My question for you is, how much money do you think a guy should make per year?
Like $1 million, $2 million?
A lot. We're expensive.
Yeah, million.
Sweetheart, now that we've established what you are, we're just haggling over the price. Have you ever noticed how open and honest women are when they talk amongst themselves when guys aren't around? If you really want to know what a woman truly thinks and feels and values, listen to what she says when she's among the girls. Not what she says in front of guys she's trying to impress, and that'll give you a real indication of what she's like.
So my question for you is, how much money do you think a guy should make per year?
Like $1 million, $2 million?
Yeah, I think a woman, if she gave a guy 36 babies, I think that's about right. Is that too much?
Like fully adult, $300K.
First off, look, I realize that the way they edited this video, they cherry-picked the most ridiculous responses because that gets clicks and it's entertaining. I get it. But I also think we shouldn't fool ourselves into thinking that they interviewed thousands of people through the day and they only picked 5 or 6 interviews. If you look at the lighting during the day, the time of the day, this was filmed within an hour or so. And I think it's safe to say, generally, a lot of naive young modern girls think this way. And when they talk amongst other girls, not in front of guys, not in front of their parents, not in front of the public where they can be shamed and told that, hey, you need to consider other people. But when they're alone with the girls, women really let go of a lot of the formal and polite pretense, and they actually tell you what they really think and feel. And guys will also do this when we're alone. We will turn up the volume on what we really feel and think deep inside. We don't just become someone else. We just let go of being polite. And just like alcohol loosens people to just be honest, I think women, when they're in front of other women, they do the same thing. They're very, very honest. So just as a social experiment, it's very interesting to see how confidently and arrogantly and entitled a lot of these women act.
100, like 500 grand? Is that a lot?
I think a woman should cook. In terms of how good, I don't know, a 5-star Michelin chef. Is that too much? I don't know. This is a pretty lunatic that most guys go for. I know this is tabloid, sensationalized clickbait videos and YouTube, but I just feel sorry for the guys that have to deal with an avalanche of these kind of women out there whose expectations, not just expectations, but their personalities, given what they just calmly expect from a guy, they're nuts. They're just nuts.
A lot. We're expensive.
Yeah, million.
Sweetheart, now that we've established what you are, we're just haggling over the price.
Minimum 6 figures, no matter what the situation is.
We have an expensive lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, how deranged and deluded would a guy be if he came off like that? You'd say, dude, get in touch with reality. No one's like that. Good luck in finding your 2-headed unicorn. These are the type of Jekyll and Hyde girls that will ruin a man's life if he buys their polite act in the dating phase, in the honeymoon phase. But deep down, when they're alone with their girlfriends, this is what they really want, think, and this is how little you matter, and your wallet and what you can provide is the totality of what they want from you. Once that goes, as a lot of guys have experienced, so does the relationship. Some will say, oh, lighten up, human. They're just joking. They're fooling around. But there is a lot of truth in these women's lightheartedness. One might think, oh, they're just having fun and joking like a comedian might. But just like comedy, comedy reveals the truth through lighthearted jokes, and comedy is great for being honest. And I think there's a lot of truth when women talk amongst themselves like this. Passing it off as just harmless fun. This isn't a comedy routine. This is their ego. This is the kind of ego that comes out when you go out with one of these girls and you have a fight and she can't be reasonable and she wants everything her way. And no matter what you do, you can't make Princess happy. If this is all they watch in reality TV and this is all they talk about and laugh about, then they want this. They don't want a boring relationship with a guy who's just got a job. That's unsure. What if he loses his job? But a guy who's a millionaire, there's a lot of security and fun to be had in that lifestyle, but it's also delusional. The amount of guys that a woman will find to be able to feel safe is approaching zero. They're out of almost every woman's league. And thus, most women out there are going to be anxious and they'll always be feeling afraid because they can't find that two-headed unicorn. A few channels that have commented on this video have tried to excuse these young girls by saying, oh, they just don't know the value of money or how it's made. This is true. But also, I don't believe it because the clothes they wear and how they shop, they know how much something costs. Heck, the Slurpees these women are holding in their hands, the Slushies that you people in the US call it. One of the great comments under this video was that it sounded like a bunch of girls asking Santa Claus for a present. And the way these girls were trying to outcompete each other. One girl said, oh, I just need a minimum of $100,000 from a guy. And the next girl would one-up her and say, oh, I want 130,000, 180, 500,000. 1 million, is that too much? I don't know.
I want a lot of it, and I have no idea what it is in the real world.
In their eyes, it's something daddy used to give them to make their lives better, to put a smile on their face. It's an example of these people never being checked by their parents, growing up in a single-parent household, mum and dad either being too scared or never being around to raise them, but they were raised by media and the other dumb friends around them. The current generation, they don't want to be nurses or firefighters or astronauts or anything aspirational and something that could contribute and you could be proud of in society. No, they've grown up with seeing 18-year-old millionaires with 3 Lamborghinis, being obnoxious, being rewarded with a lot of money for it. And money just happens when you put a phone in front of your face and you just talk and say,
Hey guys!
Blah, 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 like, subscribe, end. Money just falls out of the sky while you're having fun for these twits.
Would you be comfortable with making more money than your guy or no?
Probably not, no. I don't want him to rely on me.
No, I wouldn't mind if I was making more money as long as they're making a lot. I think we both need to be rich.
What is really sad and baffling to me is the lack of reality that these women have about what it requires to have a relationship with someone, the fair give and take between two people, sympathizing with another person's point of view, what a man can realistically provide, not what a fantasy in a movie might be able to provide if you get lucky enough. These women are living by the concept of wanting to win the lottery, and that's the only time they're going to have a relationship is if they win the lottery. That's the only person they're going to love. That entitled attitude.
What is the lowest you would go, though?
500,000.
I could have a nice settled life with a 200,000 a year.
I could retire on that money.
$500,000?
Guys, pay attention just how confidently and relaxed these girls are when they tell you how much they expect from a guy in terms of financially what he can bring to the table before they'd even consider him. And contrast that to when you're with this type of bimbo, how vague and aloof and polite and quiet she is with you. The princess's needs don't come out till after the honeymoon when she's held her breath long enough for you to commit and you're in a relationship together where these needs come out, these honest needs that she kept quiet about.
I mean, do you care about how he would make his money, like real estate job versus, a male stripper?
I don't think so. Money's money.
Money's money. See how the honesty of women comes through when they're talking amongst other women, when guys aren't around them to judge them on values and principles? Do you care how he makes money? I don't care. Values and principles don't matter. This is what thinking, more responsible guys, the guys that would make good fathers, are tired of, going out with a 5-year-old in an adult body. This is why I say it's very, very important for you to have no fear in speaking the way you want to speak. Learn how to think, speak, so you can communicate when you're on a date and talk about anything you want to talk about. And when you notice a warning sign, that you question and clarify that and keep talking in a fun, lighthearted way so you can read between the lines and reveal the truth of where she's coming from. Because most women that like you, who want to be in a relationship with you, they're not going to be as honest and direct as these women. They're going to hide a lot of this, and a lot of these bad traits will come out later after you've wasted your time, and maybe they have you in a position where you can't get out of. The message for me in this video is that a lot of modern young women just feel entitled to be paid for. And it's funny because chicks have been talking for a long time about not being objectified. You know, I want you to appreciate me as a person. But in the next breath, they insist on being an object with a high price tag. Comment below and let me know your thoughts about what this says about the sense of dating reality out there that guys and girls are actually currently in. I can see why women complain that they're only used as bodies, because that's the only realistic thing there. The way these women talk, the fantasy world that they live in, what they expect, it's not real. A guy doesn't know how to dance with a woman in this way in a relationship. So the only thing that makes sense is her body. That's the only realistic thing on offer to him. So I can understand why women are objectified. That's the only thing they're offering, because their reality of anything else, how they relate to a person, what's realistic, what they can offer, what he can offer, how you can just get a normal, decent girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, start something long-term. I can see why both women and men are disappointed. But I can especially see why it's so dangerous for men and why men just give up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Later. Bye.
So if a guy made $30K a year, is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, I think that would be great.